Welcome to another episode of St Vincent Untold Stories. On this episode, we are going to provide info that is going to turn the case around involving the lady that is alleged that threw the stone at the big man. Big ups to all of my subscribers, and if you are new to the channel, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon. I tell you, this is going to solve the case. Let me tell you something. You see, after the campaign and the big man won, I remember Friday, and members of his team was going into town. Nobody wasn't going behind them like that. It was only a few of them. There were talks about taking the job and making it mandatory before. But people were still not coming out like that. And let me tell you why people wasn't coming out. They was not saying the truth. Remember I told you before? There is a bias going on. So they control like certain programs and so on and certain sites. So they only show you the good that they do. But those sites don't report on the bad. You see, there were media houses, telling the truth because some of them was on a point. But the people still wasn't coming out. We had them under our radar for a long time. But you know how you solve cases. You don't move in at the same time. You put them under surveillance. And then Kennison came out at them and he did his thing. So he built up a following again. But poor Sansa still did not want to get involved because they were seeing it like a side thing. And that is where we have a problem in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You tell some Vincentians, don't wear any yellow shirt today. Don't wear any red shirt. There are those who still would wear them. At Untold Stories, we are past science students. So we don't jump to conclusion to all we observe first. So we observe that, the color of the shorts is probably causing a problem. Then came the issue with the van men. And we started to help them out too. And they came out and said that they are being pressured. And we told the van men not to give in. Some gave in and some didn't. Because some were saying that they can't pull their van off the road because they have their children to feed. So the big man set a rule and he told them they have to carry a limited amount of passengers because of the big sea. Just imagine, in a hard, difficult time of extreme poverty, if they catch the van man them with 1 or 2 over, they give them a ticket right away. You see, the thing is, we understand that the rule is the rule. But what I'm saying, what could have been the better thing to do is to tell the van man them watch. You have 1 too much or 2 too much. Somebody have to come out and know. And if I talk again, you get the ticket. Just remember, those are the same men who had a campaign earlier, set those rules. Mass gathering because they wanted to win. So they squeezed the van men. Then you heard suffrage is going to rub. And you see, we had people on the ground going up to the suffrage. And we was doing our research as well. So we started to put out volcano videos early. And everybody was saying, Untold Stories, take down those videos. You are calling down the suffrage. Go back and look at our previous episode. And you would see that we was the first to put videos out about the suffrage. We warned the big man to take his time with the van men. And we told him to get prepared. Persons laughed, man. They took it for a joke. We appealed to persons to evacuate. A lot of them came up with excuse like, I have nowhere to go. Just imagine that you was at a risk and you put the big man into power. You could have said, we need to go into the shelters now, the way the volcano is acting. But you listening to him. He was saying, no, keep calm. We started to observe the volcano closer. And there was the scientist, and he was also saying keep calm as well. Lava Man went up there and he did his live and sent us some of the videos. Even one of my family members went along with Lava Man. Some of my team members decided, you know what, let us evacuate and make preparations. But Lava Man was brave enough and he went back up to the volcano and he saw certain changes. The day before, he did the last live. We spoke and he told me that he was going up by the volcano. And it so happened that the next day, while he was up there, I called someone that was associated with him and I asked her if the volcano looked anyway because a bigger head called me and told me that the volcano is going to erupt. I called her back, a Lava Man's associate, and I asked her how the Windwater side looked. And she sent me some pictures and videos and told me everything was normal. I said, no, tell Lava Man to go wrong by the lee water side. Lava Man and his team went around and they noticed that things looked abnormal. The volcano was smoking. I passed on the message to the person that gave me the heads up, and I told her how Lava Man said the volcano looked. And I told her that Lava Man would be going live in a few seconds. And he did. And the Lava Man gave the evacuation order. But because he was small, they did not listen to him. They listened to that professor. They did a press conference in the morning, and still the order was not given. In the evening, they noticed that the activities increased and the sky began to change and the mountains start to look different. Then they run and gave evacuation order. Just imagine, we already warned the big man because we knew that there was a big sea. And if the people rush into the shelters together, then the big sea would increase. It so happened that Mr. Boss did not listen. He wanted to do his own thing. And next thing now, the people had to rush into the shelters without knowing who had big sea or not. Then there came one of his ministers on the lee water side when the people were rushing to get on the boats, saying that they had to take the job before they go into the shelter. Just imagine, you left your home, no food, no clothing, no money to buy anything. And the only thing they could have talked about is taking the job. We started to amp up the videos. Telling other people what they were doing. So the people started to see the true colors of those men. Persons started to help out by donating food immediately. Everybody came on board. But one of the biggest mistakes ever made is for everything to pass to Nemo. Bear in mind that the big man and his team is responsible for those who are appointed at Nemo. And we saw that in the Otosam case. Food was sent for everyone at the shelters. But some of the big man's supporters started to play bass. They didn't even know some of the people sending the food. Allegations were even made against shelter managers, withholding stuff that did not belong to them. All that time, we were doing groundwork in the red zone. We used to take a boat and go around to Chateaubelair because there were people left in that community that needed things. The big man and his team, they wasn't going into there. They had the road blocked off. Supporters were going against supporters. Because remember I told you that there are stages within their organizations. They are the ones that get the grand prime and they don't have to do much campaigning. The little men and the little women, they have to go on the streets to campaign. While those that get the prime grant, they celebrate and leave you to make a noise. The people in the shelters started to complain, especially those on the yellow side. Most of them were being pressured. You see, and we did episodes on that. Remember we said that most of the big man's workers that got the pull string jobs were placed in apartments and so forth, special shelters, and they were getting bucks from Nemo like twice per week. And they were persons who wasn't getting, and the people was listening, and they were saying untold stories. That is true, you know. Things started to disappear. The people overseas that was sending the things didn't even know how their stuff was being distributed. Persons came on and several news entities, and they said that nothing ever came to them. So they decided to stand up. So they took to the streets and joined up with Kennison and his team. But persons were still afraid to come out. Remember, they knew that the big man is not an easy man, you know. Living in a shelter, getting food, and you wanna go on the street against the big man. You're gonna end up in problems. Then it was alleged that a man got a pawpaw to his foot. Oh my. And members of the big man team were accused. Then even some of the big man's supporters took it to social media, standing on the side of the man that got the pawpaw to his foot. After they took to the streets again, then it was a mixed thing now with those that did not get justice for the man that got the pawpaw, and those that did not get their fair share of volcano relief help. Now look at that. You already have two major things pending. Then you accepted that there was extreme poverty. Then you started to see that van men and frontline workers and so forth have to take the job. Then you all told the van men that if they took the job, they could carry their full amount of passengers. But that was not the case. The van men were checked. While this was going on, you know, a certain counselor who is supposed to come out against wrongs, they stayed silent while the big man and his team were telling lies left, right, and center. Then they came with the options of taking the job. You have to pay for a test every fortnight. The man them decided, nah, this is too much. We are going out. They called out the unions. So let me tell you now why all these people are coming out. They are coming out because the stimulus package disappeared. Some got and some did not get because sides was played with that. The prime grant was distributed to supporters. They are coming out against extreme poverty, against unemployment. They don't like the way the volcano relief efforts are being dealt with. They are speaking out against Nemo. They are coming out against the job, against injustice. There are those who have a personal vendetta against you, who want you to step down no matter what. Some are coming out asking where your son got the bitcoins from and so forth. And that is just a little bit of it, you know. There are more. And they are coming out against things like the geothermal project as well that failed. Those monies could have been placed in the hands of poor people. And to add to that, Friday made a claim that $95 million is missing. So the last time everyone decided to come out, the unions along with others, and that was not Friday's team alone because Friday's team was smaller from the start. Mr. Bigger Boss, he saw the crowd, you know. He came out of the vehicle, as what they said, and he walked through a crowd that was asking for certain things to be done that he did not want to get done. So they said that it was alleged that a lady threw a stone at him and it caught him in the head. You see, the man is very smart. Because he knows that a lot of youths like a Vibes Cartel. So he took on the name Wall Boss. But he's not the original Wall Boss. Vibes Cartel would not have come out of that vehicle when he saw that crowd. And Cartel made it clear already in his song Emergency that he doesn't want to be associated with any side, especially those kind of big men. Yesterday, they said it was the big man's boat. But nobody in celebrate it like that because people are feeling pressure right now. People are fed up. I want to wish him a belated birthday there as well, but the way how things are going, we are asking you to step down as your birthday present. So they are saying that the person who threw the stone, they have them on camera. So they picked up a lady. Huh? What if that lady is innocent? Who is going to compensate her? Remember, no, he can't compensate her from our tax money. He has to pay that out of his own pocket. So he started to say that he have someone else who is responsible. Well, we are waiting. I remember we are saying, that wasn't a Friday's thing, Unions came out, everybody came out. So don't try to put the blame on Friday to make it look like, yes, it is them who did it. Don't look sympathy there. The woman's lawyer said that the confession that they got shouldn't have been taken. And there is a thing in Vinci that sometimes officers put their hand on you to gain a confession. And if you can't take lashes, then you would confess even though it's not you, and that is not right. So to all other people living abroad, don't make them put the blame on Mr. Friday. The unions were there, several other entities were there. It is a trick that they are using. They are trying to stop people from coming on the streets. So they would say, yes, it's Friday responsible. Friday decided to apologize. But he say not accept none apology. It was alleged that one time back, someone placed their hands on Mitchell, then PM, on a boat, and they said that he saw red stars. How come they are not talking about those things? Let me say this, from the looks of the videos, no one told the perpetrator to do anything. So don't throw the responsibility on Mr. Friday. So with that being said, I just want to big up the entire population in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the regional islands and the international countries who are supporting and praying for us during these difficult times. I thank you.